Hi, we're Team Amazing. This is Amit, this is Francesco, this is myself, Brian, and this is Nityanj. And what we're here today to talk to you about is the influencer value for a targeted marketing campaign. Let's say you have two influencers, Bob and Sophie. Current methods quantify their number of followers, Bob and Sophie's distribution in the network, but they don't go so far as to say how much of their network consists of followers that are part of the target market. And that's what we do in three parts. Part one is the user score. So this is a score for each follower in the network. Then there's the network efficiency for each influencer. These two parts feed into the third part, which is a simulation model. From the simulation model, we can get a distribution of scores among influencers and more powerfully compare them with some statistical metrics. Now let's explain this part by part. First, the user score. Step one is to determine whether a user is a robot or not. Robots do not have marketing value themselves. They can propagate to other people with marketing values, but bot or not, a bot doesn't get a score. So we use bot or not to do that. Step two is we take a latent Dirichlet allocation or LDA analysis of the followers' descriptions, tweets, and information about the websites they visit. And we feed this into the LDA. This LDA produces a list of topics, common topics that people talk about, and we determine which topic relates to this marketing campaign. From there, each user is scored based on their most common topic of conversation and how close that relates to the topic at hand. And then we take a third step, and this third step is combining this bot or not score with the LDA values to get a 0 to 1 score for each user. Basically, how much are they part of the target market? So for the network efficiency part, for each influencer, we look at all of their active and passive followers. For the active followers, we calculate what is the probability that they will retweet and to how many people they retweet. So let's consider the simulation for one influencer. He has a first tweet. We look at the probability of his network for retweeting, the score of his follower base, and we can get for this one tweet how many people of the target market did he reach. We do this again. He's going to have a different number of people that he's going to reach because of the probabilities associated with his active followers. So as you see it a third time, we continue this 1,000 times, 10,000 times, and we get a distribution of how many people this person can reach. Let's call the number of target consumers one can reach the target consumer equivalent score. Now, as you see here on these plots, you can see the distribution and the expected value of this TCE score across influencers. And as you see, they can differ between two campaigns, as clearly illustrated here. So an influencer's value can be different based on the target market that you're aiming for. If you put the TCE score on the y-axis and cost of campaign on the x and do a simple linear regression, you can see and determine which influencers are underpaid and overpaid for their abilities to reach the target campaign. So we've done a lot to date. We've scraped a lot off of API for bot or not and URL. We've done a lot to calculate the probabilities of tweet propagation, and we've done this LDA analysis on a few initial iterations. Our next steps is to enhance our LDA process for all users, assigning them scores based on our full set of enriched information. Then we want to run a lot of simulations on them so we get solid distributions, and then we'll be able to find the real influencer's compensation for this particular marketing campaign. Thanks for your time, and we look forward to presenting our final results to you.
Created using Powtoon.